So this is like insane, but also what this means for the rest of the league is also kind of fucking insane. So if you guys haven't seen it, the whole LAT super team rumor thing that came out, Jake and Ronnie ended up tweeting today that it was like pretty far along. So this looks like it's going to end up being the LAT roster for Black Ops 6, which is fucking insanity. Going from, budget working with, no pun intended, scraps to two of the top like 4 or 5 players in the league next year. Obviously retaining Dan, they're bringing in Hydra, Scrap, and Envoy. This team's fucking insane. I mean, I'm not really gonna give like crazy input on the roster because the names kind of speak for themselves in this situation. What I am interested in though is now where orgs like Toronto and New York are that were definitely solidified in like the upper part of the league, and now is where things get interesting because Toronto has now lost Envoy and Scrap. They're left with Toby and Insight. I don't know if they're even going to retain those players. I don't know what happens in that situation. C9 is now a team of 2 because they now have Skies and Kismet. They dropped Dante or Sib. That reasoning for that seemed to be outside of the game, some external like team chemistry stuff based on clips on streams and things like that. So I think the likelihood of him going back and playing there now is probably pretty low if I had to guess. So now we have 2 duos of, to put it bluntly, just players that were less skilled than the players that ended up leaving. So now those orgs are like, I think kind of like removed from the pedestal a little bit because again, there was the consensus top 4. Now they're no longer, in my opinion anyway. So now I'm curious to see who ends up playing for C9 and playing for Toronto. Is there a world where one of them just ends up completely rebuilding and they mesh? I think there's a Toronto rumor going around with Beans, I believe, right, chat? Could be wrong on that one, but I think there's a rumor going around with like Beans and like Hixie or Cammy or something like that on Toronto with Toby and Jamie. So there's like a European team going there and something like that. I don't know anything about C9 specifically. I haven't heard anything rumor-wise either. So that's interesting, but